This video I'm going to speak about what I mean by modern Wing Chun. I've been using that label on my channel, and I just want to make a video to explain my thought processes on what I'm trying to convey through that label. I think ultimately I'm trying to express, going back to the Chinese culture and the Chinese martial arts under the label of Kung Fu. So that's a Chinese label. My background is Chinese, and I'm trying to carry on the work of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was Chinese, and he spoke Cantonese, and he was promoting the Chinese culture. And he was not promoting karate, he was not promoting jiu-jitsu, he was not promoting boxing. He was promoting his own expression in the martial arts, and he was trying to promote the Chinese culture through his art. That was a big thing for him. So he studied the Chinese martial arts. That's where he started, and then he started studying a lot of different disciplines, and then ended up creating his own. But the foundation, the roots of it is Chinese. And that's his roots, that's my roots. Now, I see that overall, the martial arts from China, I would probably say that it's the Shaolin. And from what I know, Wing Chun is basically a simplified version of the Shaolin, which is very vast. But the Shaolin martial arts, the Shaolin Kung Fu, has become very traditional. It hasn't become fluid for modern times. So Bruce Lee started off studying the Wing Chun, and then started studying a lot of different systems, different ways in which to develop his own, of which he called Jeet Kune Do eventually. But then he didn't want to label his art. He knew the limitations of that as well. But he did end up calling it Jeet Kune Do. But essentially it was his expression of the martial arts, Bruce Lee's expression of the martial arts. And before he came up with the Jeet Kune Do, he actually called it Jun Fan Kung Fu, which is basically his Chinese name. So it was basically Bruce Lee's Kung Fu. And then later he called it the Jeet Kune Do. Now Wing Chun is essentially a woman's expression of the Kung Fu, her expression of the Kung Fu. And say her name is Wing Chun, she's expressing her Kung Fu. But it has become traditional because after 400 years or however many years have passed, it's a dead tradition. And what I see her art is a representation of a woman's expression of Kung Fu. Like a female Sifu's expression of Kung Fu. You got Bruce Lee's expression of Kung Fu. And I see Bruce Lee's expression to be more of the male expression of Kung Fu. So what I practice is my own Kung Fu. Now, I don't feel comfortable saying what I practice is even remotely related to Wing Chun. I would feel more comfortable relating my work to Jeet Kune Do and Bruce Lee, because really I did study him a lot, and he is a man just like me, but there's very few women within the martial arts community, and even so, there's even fewer women who have achieved a very high level within the martial arts. Women get involved in different things other than martial arts. They might get involved in dance and gymnastics, other avenues of artistic expression other than the martial arts. If you join like a salsa dancing class, you'll find a bunch of women. You join a yoga class, you'll find a bunch of women. You join a Zumba class, you'll find a bunch of women. Join a Pilates class, you'll find a bunch of women. Spin class, a bunch of women. But you will not find many women involved in the martial arts. So to have a woman reach to a level of where she is considered a Sifu herself, or a master of the martial arts herself, is a very rare phenomenon. And I saved the label of Wing Chun, and I say modern Wing Chun to represent the woman's expression in the martial arts, where men really have no business. So in my opinion, I see that men have no business teaching Wing Chun or labeling what they practice as Wing Chun because they are not women. They need to create their own expression of Kung Fu and promote and market their own expression to teach, just like what Bruce Lee did. Came up with his own expression, labeled it Jeet Kune Do, first labeled it Jun Fan Kung Fu, and then Jeet Kune Do, and then started teaching his own method in the martial arts. Wing Chun, that system, to me, is designed for women. When I say modern Wing Chun, I'm saying for today, this woman that I'm training is going to be representing a high level in the martial arts within my school, and this is the modern Wing Chun. She is representing the modern Wing Chun for today, not the person that died 400 years ago or however many years ago that created the Wing Chun system, but for today, the living female that's representing the woman's system of self-defense or the woman's martial arts system. It's within her expression. My expression, Freddie's Modern Kung Fu, is my living expression of a continuation of Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's Kung Fu. His spirit, I feel, is living within me to express the martial arts in continuation, to build off of where he left off. But as far as women are concerned, just like there's separation between the NBA and the WNBA, well, who is the best NBA player? Who is the best women's NBA player or the WNBA player? Wing Chun is a representation of, the modern Wing Chun is a representation of the best martial arts practitioner within the school that's a female representing a high level. So it wouldn't be right for a male to enter into the WNBA and say, hey, you know, I'm going to start playing with you guys, you women, and I'm going to show you how good I am. And no, it's not about that. Just like the women's track and field, the men's track and field. You know, like there's women and then men, women and then men. So in the martial arts, Wing Chun to me cannot be taught by a man. It should not be taught by a man. And it should be taught by women. It should be expressed by women. And that's what I mean by modern Wing Chun.